Susan Fratzke is with the Migration Policy Institute. She's joining us here in the studio to discuss the refugee crisis. The camp has really sort of become a symbol, perhaps one of many symbols of Europe's inability to really deal with this crisis. What happens now? How do you see this thing kind of playing itself out?
Well, the French are, of course, very dedicated to closing the camp at this stage. It's been a political issue for them, and of course, with their relationship with the United Kingdom. They're moving to close the camp within the next couple of days and to move the refugees to various points across France. What remains to be seen is how many people will be able to go, how many will actually go willingly.
And then there's been this thought, some people positing it, that perhaps some of these people will leave but then come back. Is that a strong possibility, you think?
It's certainly a concern, and it's something that's happened in the past. There have been camps in that location for decades now, dating back actually to the early 2000s. And it's difficult to force people to go where they don't want to go. And many people have friends and family in the United Kingdom that they're very dedicated to reunifying with.
There are thousands, 1,300 of them actually, unaccompanied child migrants. What will happen with them?
Well, there's actually an effort underway right now to reunify many of those children with their family in Great Britain. So far, about 200 have actually been relocated, and some of the most vulnerable will actually also be moved to the United Kingdom, but many of them will stay in France, and the French authorities have said they'll move them into shelters that are designed for minors, for children.
Does this put more pressure on these other shelters, though? One would think when you're suddenly flooding the zone, in a sense, with thousands of people, are they capable of dealing with it?
It's definitely been a concern in France. The French authorities have had limited asylum capacity in the past. They've said that they've increased the number of places by 7,500, so there should be enough room for everyone, but it's certainly been a concern.
Dadaab, the world's largest refugee camp, which is in Kenya, is set to close in November. I was reading today that the Somali refugees, there's been hundreds of thousands of them living there, that we're actually looking at a second generation of Somalis growing up in refugee camps. One has to think, as this thing continues to kind of spiral out of control in Europe, is that what we're looking at? Is that perhaps what we're going to see as well? And what do you do to prevent that from happening?
Well, the protracted nature of refugee conflicts has been a problem for a long time, and that's one of the things that's been driving the flows of refugees to Europe, because people are tired of living in places where they don't have the means to earn a living. For those who have already reached Europe, there are efforts underway to integrate them, to make sure that they're able to find jobs and have legal status in the European Union, but certainly greater efforts to integrate people and make sure that they have the ability to succeed in France, in the United Kingdom, and Germany are needed.
Susan, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us. Really appreciate it.